Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we are extending the topic of the ChatGPT Telegram chatbot. Here we are connecting the database to our ChatGPT to store the queries and responses like this. So first of all, go to firebase.google.com and create a project like this. I already create a project and give a name, and go to Firestore database and create a collection. Give it a collection ID as name, and after the creation of collection, go to after the creation of collections, go to settings and project settings, service accounts, and they you will get a code to connect the database using Node.js, and generate a new private key downloads a file and rename them as key.json and cut the file and paste it in Telegram ChatGPT folder. Now make the connection by using the following code. Uh, I'm sub I'm writing a comment for that. This is the code for ChatGPT connection, chatbot connection, and this is for database connection. Here we writing the database connection. First, for the database connection, we using an npm package called npm package called Firebase admin. So we are downloading that and we are connecting like this, and we are getting the Firestore as require of Firebase admin slash Firestore. Now I need to install that Firebase admin. So npm I Firebase admin. Yeah, it's successfully installed. Now I started it. Yeah, no errors. Now we are providing our private key to the service account. For that, you need to mention the path of the key, and now we are also initializing our app. So for that, you need to initialize app and give the credentials as service account. Done. Now we are accessing the database using get file store and storing in your database DB. Here I made a small mistake, that is not capital smallest. Let me change. Now our database connection is completed. So what we are doing here now, when we send a message, we can store that message in database. So for that, we are changing a little bit of code whenever you send a message. Let's start that. Yeah. So I'm reviewing the bot send message. I'm writing if here we need to inserting into the database. I need to insert the time also. For that I'm getting the time using the date. Now db.collection chatbot responses is my the collection name. In that collection, I need to add as first chat ID. I just name chat ID, and the key as a query user entered, and the data value what was generated by ChatGPT. the time at what time it was generated. After that, that means dot then I am writing a function here. It sends a message to the user. So let me see why it is working or not. About Pawan Kalyan, it's it's generated. Let me check in Firebase. Go to Firestore database and check. Yeah, here is a field is entered. Mm, it's working, and again we check once again about mobile phones. The generated answer, and it is also stored in the Firebase. So the database, the queries and answers responses are stored in the database. Now we are going to use some functionalities, adding some functionalities like whenever user enters the history, whenever user want to know the what was the history, then we are going to display the all his queries and responses. So we need to handle here the history. If the user want to delete the history, then we need to delete the history. Otherwise, we need to handle the delete history. Otherwise, else we need to generate the what he asked based on that query. Okay, let us go to handle the history request now. So right, I'm creating a variable history and creating a function get user history chatbot. We need to implement this function and and we are sending a message to the chat ID, right? Uh, Formatting that in a small format like your history is in bold, so I am using the HTML format here. That was I used vtext, and for some new lines slash n, and for the formatting the output I am using another function format history output. We need to implement these function also, and the parse format we need to mention in the curly brackets parse mode. So parse mode is the HTML. Yeah, done. So we need to implement two functions here, and we must use await because uh, we need to wait for the getting the history. Then we need to send messages, and the same we need to create a function delete history and send them a message to the chart ID that inform them that chart history has been deleted. Yeah, that's done. So we need to implement these three functions get user history. Now we are on these three functions. First of all, go to first the function get use history, right? It takes the input parameter as chart id. We are used await, so we need to use asynchronous function. So this function use the entire history, all responses of the user. Now let's I use try class block for the errors. So if any error rises, we are printing that error in the console as error getting user history, which we mentioned the error, and we need to return the empty string empty array also because it accepting. Now in try we are creating a snapshot of the entire database. So count snapshot, await db.collections. It gives chat responses, chat, chatbot, chat responses. It gives the entire, sorry, missing chatbot responses. I will change it later. It gives the entire snapshot of the uh, our database where our chart ID equal to that person chart ID. So and creating an empty array of history in that snapshot for each document. We are creating a function for each document. We need to push that into the history array as a key and a value and a time. Here we are going to push into key the user entered data and data value as the user generated, so that is that data of data value, and the time, that is dot data of dot. Now our history array is filled with the entered database, so we are going to return the database. Let's check history is working or not. Before that we need to format the output also. So this is the function to format the output. Yes, here is a mistake shown, that is not a asynchronous function. We need to remove that asynchronous function. Returning history dot map of entry. I am using the format as b query. In here we need to enter the what the query entered by the user. So entry dot key, and next is the time. Here we need to enter the time at which time that was inserted. So this will be get by entry dot time, and next as the response. Response means generated text. So this will be getted by entry dot data value. After that we are joining the each field with a two new lines so that it is clear to read. That asynchronous must be removed, and another, that's it. Yeah, I forgot to add the function keyword. Yeah, and the chatbot responses is also changed. Now we need to check, not let me check history. Yeah, now you can see the all the histories come. Now we need to add another functionality to delete history, same like previous one. So I'm going to delete history. Here I am saying delete, delete history. Let me add the code for this. Yes, delete history. It's same as where the chart ID is create a snapshot, and every batch it delete that batch. Batch dot delete. If the any error is can't delete. So if I check it, delete history. Yes, your chart history has been deleted. Let me check history now. There is no history. Working, it's fine. Again I'm asking about power stack Pawan Kalyan. It's generated. Yes, yes. All the responses are created. Now that Pawan Kalyan is came. And steps to create a chatbot. It gives a, yeah, steps. and give prime number code in Python. Done, it's give. Let me check in Firebase uh, history. Yes, it's give. Now it's working fine. Yes. Bye bye.